People naturally try to understand success by looking at those who made it. The visible winners become proof that success is predictable and replicable. What quietly vanishes from the picture are the far more numerous cases where similar efforts, talents, and decisions led nowhere. Once failures are invisible, success begins to look less random than it really is. This distortion changes how people think about luck. Outcomes that survive are interpreted as the result of good judgment, intelligence, or character, while chance is dismissed as a minor detail. Yet if you group only successes together and search for common traits, you almost inevitably find patterns that did not meaningfully exist at the time decisions were made. As Daniel Kahneman put it, a decision that turns out well is often judged as brilliant in hindsight, regardless of how uncertain it was ex ante. In reality, success usually reflects an interaction between skill and probability. Skill may improve the odds, but it does not determine the outcome. Many people and organizations make reasonable decisions under uncertainty and still fail. We rarely hear from them, not because they were foolish, but because their stories do not survive. This is why advice from the successful is inherently limited. The strategies that worked for them may not be special at all, they may simply be the paths that happen to intersect with favorable randomness. Countless others followed similar paths and vanished from view. What remains is a misleading impression that success follows a formula. Research on luck supports this interpretation. Psychologist Richard Wiseman spent over a decade studying people, who described themselves as either very lucky or very unlucky. He did not find that lucky people were blessed by fate. Instead, he observed consistent behavioral differences in how they interacted with chance. In one well-known experiment, participants were asked to count photographs in a newspaper. On the second page, Wiseman placed a large block of text that read, "Stop counting, there are 43 photographs in this newspaper." Later, another message offered a cash reward to anyone who noticed it. Those who considered themselves unlucky, typically took several minutes and missed both messages. Those who considered themselves lucky often noticed the text within seconds. The difference was not intelligence. It was attention. Unlucky participants were narrowly focused on their assigned task, filtering out anything that did not match their expectations. Lucky participants were more relaxed and receptive, they noticed unexpected information, because they were not fixated on a single outcome. Across multiple studies, Wiseman found the same pattern. People who described themselves as lucky tended to expose themselves to more varied situations, change routines more often, and recover more quickly from failure. They encountered more randomness, and as a result, more opportunities. Unlucky people, by contrast, sought control and predictability, reducing their exposure to chance and, ironically, their chances of positive surprises. From this perspective, luck is not a mysterious force. It is what we call the outcomes, produced when human behavior repeatedly interacts with uncertainty. Skill matters, but mainly because it allows a person to stay in the game longer, and place more bets. It does not guarantee success. This also explains why success stories are so deceptive. We see the survivors and assume their outcomes were the natural result of superior decisions. What we do not see are the many equally competent people, who made similar choices and failed. Their absence makes success appear more common, more stable, and more controllable than it truly is. The practical implication is not that effort is pointless, but that outcomes should be interpreted with humility. Success often says less about the uniqueness of a strategy, than about the fact that it did not encounter fatal bad luck. As Nassim Taleb argues, in environments dominated by uncertainty, success is frequently the result of avoiding ruin long enough for chance to turn favorable. Understanding luck this way is uncomfortable, but clarifying. It shifts the goal from trying to replicate specific success stories, to learning how to remain flexible, resilient, and open to opportunity. You cannot control randomness, but you can choose how often you engage with it, and how quickly you recover when it does not go your way. In the end, what survives, shapes what we believe. History, business, and personal success are filtered through outcomes that happen to endure. Without remembering what disappeared, we systematically mistake luck for insight, and rare wins for universal lessons.